Welcome back, everyone. Today's deep dive, well, it's all about helping businesses connect with their audience.
Hmm.
And we're talking about customer personas.
You've done some research on this, it seems.
Yeah, I've been looking into it quite a bit, actually.
Interesting.
We've all seen those marketing campaigns,
Oh, yeah.
that just feel so generic.
Right.
Like they're just kind of shouting out there, hoping somebody will,
Yeah, just hoping someone will bite.
exactly.
Hmm.
But what if there was a way to actually speak to the right people, with
Right.
the right message?
Mm.
Well, that's where customer personas come in.
And it's not just some marketing fad either. I
Right.
mean, there's actual data behind this stuff.
I've noticed that, yeah.
Like, there's a case study in one of your articles
Oh, yeah.
about this meal kit delivery service.
Okay.
And they were really struggling to gain traction. And it
Mhm.
turned out they were trying to be everything to everyone.
Oh, so their marketing message was all over the place.
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
totally diluted.
So how did they fix that?
Well, they decided to create these detailed customer personas,
Uh-huh.
and they realized that their most engaged customers were
Yeah.
actually young couples who love to cook,
Hmm.
but they were short on time.
So they were trying to be like the gourmet option.
Yeah.
When really their audience wanted something quick and easy.
Yeah, like a weeknight dinner solution.
Exactly. So what do they do?
They completely revamped their approach.
Okay.
They streamlined their recipes,
Mhm.
and their marketing really honed in on that specific audience.
And it worked.
Their subscriptions just skyrocketed.
Wow. So they found their niche
They did.
Okay.
And it all came down to understanding their target audience.
at a deeper level.
Exactly.
So you've probably come across this in your research.
Oh, yeah.
The core components of a customer persona.
Right. So you need the who,
Mm.
the demographics, their lifestyle, all that.
Okay.
Then you've got the goals. What are they trying to achieve?
Right. And what's standing in their way.
Exactly. The barriers.
So like that camping tent example we talked about earlier.
Yes. You had Antonio the busy dad and Juliana the road tripper.
And they both wanted tents.
Right. But their needs were totally different.
So how do companies actually use these personas then?
Well, they definitely don't just create them and stick them on a wall.
Right.
It goes way beyond that.
So let's say you're that camping tent company.
Okay.
You're not going to market a family tent to someone who's going backpacking.
No, you'd be talking past each other.
Totally different needs.
Exactly. So you tailor your message.
Right.
You highlight the easy setup and family-friendly features for Antonio.
Right.
And then for Juliana, you emphasize the durability and weather resistance.
Huh.
You might even run separate ad campaigns
Oh, wow.
or target different social media groups.
So they're segmenting their marketing.
Exactly, based on who they're talking to.
It's like personalized marketing.
Yeah, but on a larger scale.
And it's not just advertising, right?
It goes way beyond that.
Like if you're designing a website, you'd use different language and imagery depending on who you're trying to reach.
Exactly. You want it to resonate with that specific persona.
It can even influence product development, can it?
Absolutely. Like maybe Juliana's persona is all about sustainability.
Hmm.
Well, then you might source eco-friendly materials or offer a repair program.
Oh, that's smart.
So it's about meeting their needs and values.
On a deeper level.
Exactly. And all of this starts with research.
Yeah, you can't just make these personas up.
Right. There were different research methods.
Like what?
Analytics, interviews, surveys.
Even focus groups?
Yeah, all kinds of things.
I was really surprised by some of the questions they use in those interviews.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just basic demographics.
It goes much deeper than that.
They're asking about people's routines, their values, even their frustrations.
And that's crucial.
Why?
Because those deeper insights are what make the personas feel real.
Okay, but doesn't all that research get overwhelming?
It can be a lot of data.
How do you go from that to these concise personas?
That's where the art of analysis comes in. You're
Mhm.
looking for patterns and trends.
Okay.
You group individuals who share similar needs and behaviors,
Right.
and then you distill all that information into these representative profiles.
So it's like taking a huge puzzle and finding the pieces that fit together.
Exactly. And that picture, that customer persona, becomes your roadmap
To connecting with your audience.
on a deeper level.
That's really interesting.
It is fascinating stuff.
It really is.
And it can be incredibly powerful when done right.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that.
It can completely transform a business
Hmm.
and even empower consumers in a way.
We'll have to talk more about that.
Definitely. There's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, well, let's take a quick break,
Yeah, that's good.
and we'll come back and dive even deeper into this.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so we're back. And we're talking about customer personas
Right?
and how they can really make a difference for businesses.
It's amazing how much depth there is to this whole thing.
It really is.
Yeah. You know, you'd think it'd be simple, just come up with a name and a job title.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But it's so much more than that.
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, and sometimes you get these unexpected insights.
Really?
Like, there's this great example in your research.
Right.
This company that makes high-end headphones.
I think I remember that one.
They were initially marketing to audiophiles.
Right, the people who are all about sound quality.
Exactly. But then they started doing these in-depth interviews, and they discovered that a lot of their customers
Yeah.
were actually buying the headphones for noise cancellation.
Oh, wow.
Not necessarily for the amazing sound.
So they were making assumptions about their customers.
They were. They thought everyone cared about all the technical specs.
When really some people just wanted to block out the world.
That's exactly it.
So what did they do?
They totally changed their approach.
Okay.
Started highlighting the noise cancellation features.
Hmm.
Even design a whole new line of headphones.
For that specific audience.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It just shows you how important it is to really understand your customers.
Actually listen to them.
Yeah, and that's what customer personas are all about.
It's about seeing things from their perspective.
Right, like putting on a different pair of glasses.
And it can impact everything you do,
From your marketing to your product design.
even your customer service.
Exactly, because when you know who you're talking to,
You can anticipate their needs.
right, and build a stronger connection.
And one of the things I found interesting in my research
Yeah.
was how customer personas can help companies avoid problems.
Oh, right, like that fashion brand example.
Yeah, they were developing a new line of clothing.
And they had this really cool, edgy design.
Okay.
They were sure it was going to be a hit.
But then they tested it with their target persona. It
Eh.
wasn't what their audience wanted.
Nope. Their persona was more into classic, timeless pieces.
So they had to change their design.
Yeah, before they invested a ton of money.
That's a good thing they did their research.
It really is.
They could have lost a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So customer personas are not static then,
No, they need to evolve.
because people change.
Exactly. Tastes change. Preferences change.
So you need to revisit your personas
Every year or so. Yeah.
and make sure they're still accurate.
Right. And you might even need to create new ones.
If you expand into new markets,
Or a new product category.
so it's an ongoing process.
It is. You're constantly learning and adapting.
That makes sense.
And you know, one thing that really stood out to me in your research was the human element of all this.
What do you mean?
It's easy to get caught up in the data,
Yeah.
but we're dealing with real people.
Right, with real emotions.
Exactly.
It's not just about numbers.
It's about understanding what makes people tick.
What motivates them, what do they care about?
And when you can connect with them on that level,
Yeah.
you build trust, you create loyalty.
You build relationships.
Exactly.
You know, it's like customer personas are a form of storytelling.
I like that.
You're creating these narratives about your ideal customers.
Leaving them personalities, backstories even.
And if you do it well,
Yeah.
it can really draw people
Make
in.
them feel like they're part of something.
It's about moving beyond just a transaction
Right.
into something more meaningful.
Building connections that matter.
Connections that last.
Exactly. So we've been talking about how powerful customer personas can be for businesses.
Yeah, and it got me thinking,
Hmm.
could they be valuable in other areas too?
Oh, definitely. Like nonprofits,
Okay.
educational institutions, even government agencies.
But
Yeah.
anyone who's trying to connect with an audience,
Exactly. It's all about understanding your audience and tailoring your approach.
it's fascinating how widely applicable this concept is.
It really is.
And it all comes back to good communication.
Which starts with empathy and understanding.
You know, something else struck me while I was going through the research?
Oh, yeah. What's that?
How customer personas can actually empower customers.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know, right?
I guess.
Well, when companies create these detailed personas,
Yeah.
they're basically saying, we see you, we hear you, we understand you.
Right.
And that can be powerful for consumers.
Especially these days when it feels like we're just data points.
Yeah.
So it's like a shift in power dynamics.
In a way.
Instead of companies telling us what we want.
They're actually listening.
Exactly.
So it becomes more collaborative.
It does, a more authentic relationship.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking about it.
So are there any downsides to using customer personas?
Well, there's always a risk of oversimplifying things.
Right, like boxing people into categories.
Yeah, and your research actually talks about that.
Okay.
The key is to remember that personas are just representations.
Okay.
They're not meant to be perfect portraits of every single customer.
So they're more like guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. They provide a framework for understanding your audience.
But there will always be variations.
Of course, people are complex.
And you have to be careful about stereotypes and biases.
Definitely. Your research emphasizes diversity and inclusion
Right. You want your personas to be truly representative.
of the whole spectrum of your audience.
And it's important to get feedback from your customers.
Absolutely. Share your personas with them, see what they think.
Make adjustments as needed.
It's all about creating that open dialogue.
So customer personas, when done right,
Yeah.
can be a really powerful tool
They can transform businesses.
and empower consumers.
For sure.
So I feel like I've learned a lot today.
Me too. It's been a great discussion.
And I hope our listeners got some valuable insights as well.
I think they did.
Now, before we go, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
Okay.
Think about the companies you really admire.
The ones you feel really get you.
Can you picture the customer persona they're targeting?
That's a good question.
And what is it about their approach that makes you feel seen and understood?
It's something to think about for sure.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye.